What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fann of ShowMeFootball.com and ArrowheadAddict.com, covering your Kansas City Chiefs. And today I am joined by my good friend Michael D'Arcy of KC Sports Report. And today we're going to give you guys a little bit of a breakdown and injury update on a couple of key Chiefs players in DJ Humphries and Hollywood Brown, who we expect to see on the field for the Kansas City Chiefs sooner rather than later. And the first player we wanted to talk about today is, of course, new left tackle DJ Humphries. As you guys already know, the Kansas City Chiefs signed free agent left tackle DJ Humphries last week, and he is now officially on the team. It was reported a little bit earlier that he would sign, but he didn't actually officially sign until last week. So he's been in the building practicing. Of course, everyone is anxious to see him, but Michael, we got an update from Andy Reid about when we could maybe expect to see DJ Humphries, and Kansas City Chiefs fans are getting really anxious here because we've seen how Wanya Morris has played recently. We've seen Kingsley Suamataia at times, and it just has not been great. So everyone's wondering, how quickly can we get DJ Humphries on the field? So Michael, how quickly can we get DJ Humphries on the field for the Kansas City Chiefs?
See, that's a loaded question. Before we get into what Andy Reid said, I've been using Nate Taylor of the Athletics reports. He had a report a couple days ago that the thought process was to get him ingrained in the system and kind of ease him along on this journey, not rush him back to the field. As we know, he's coming off of an ACL injury, and he's a big man. So what's the point of rushing him back after having that kind of injury last year? He hasn't had an offseason. He didn't get to have a training camp or a preseason. So the Chiefs didn't initially want to rush him back. Unfortunately, after watching Wanya Morris play left tackle, it has changed. The Chiefs are trying to get him ready to go as soon as possible. And from all of the recent reports that I've seen, he is likely going to play December 8th against the Chargers, so this week on Sunday Night Football. And Andy Reid said in his Monday press conference that we'll work him in and see how he feels. That's the main thing. He has not played in a while, so I just want to make sure he's in a good position. We'll do a little bit more with him this week. So while that doesn't give away the fact that he's going to play on Sunday, if you guys watched what happened on Black Friday, I think it would be a crime to put Wanya Morris out there at left tackle. I think you will see DJ Humphries be the starting left tackle for this team on primetime Sunday Night Football against the Chargers, a game in which the Chiefs could clinch the AFC West if they can get it done.
You know, Michael, my other thought too is that if he's healthy, like truly healthy and ready to go, I think you have to play him, because I think a factor in Wanya Morris's poor performance against the Raiders on Black Friday was that he is also injured and dealing with a knee injury. But I also think his technique has also gotten kind of lazy, also maybe because of the injury. But he was getting beat over and over and over again in the same way by Kayvon Chaisson of the Raiders, who is not very good. But if you just watched that game and never heard of Kayvon Chaisson, you would think he was an all-pro going up against Wanya Morris. And it's really starting to hinder the offense in a way that we never saw coming with this offensive line. And I just feel like you got to get DJ Humphries in there as quickly as possible, because when he was healthy last year for the Arizona Cardinals, he was a good player. I think he only allowed like a 4.9% pressure rate, which would be the lowest between 2023 Donovan Smith, DJ Humphries, and then, of course, Wanya Morris, either of the last two seasons. And so I think people at this point are just wanting someone that can give you like Donovan Smith level performance. And if that could be DJ Humphries, that would be fantastic.
Well, it's interesting because we've followed this saga long enough. We were initially talking about the Chiefs going out and picking up Donovan Smith. And I think that there was no interest from the Chiefs on their side, because they signed DJ Humphries 8 hours after he was medically cleared to play football. So clearly they had their eye on him, and they did not wait whatsoever to go pick him up. But they were never interested in, Donovan Smith, because they would have had him in the building way before that Buffalo game. But I think DJ Humphries offers you something in terms of that veteran presence to the offensive line. He should be a lot better than Wanya Morris in just his first week. And part of that is because Wanya Morris is dealing with injury. But I also think that DJ Humphries is just a better left tackle.
Well, that's another issue with Wanya Morris being in there that I think is going to be negated when you bring in DJ Humphries, is that because he's a seasoned vet, Patrick Mahomes, I think, is going to be a little bit more comfortable stepping up in that pocket, knowing it's DJ Humphries instead of Wanya Morris or Kingsley Suamataia, who we've seen a couple times. You know, DJ Humphries is a guy who has played at a Pro Bowl level before. You can't say that about Wanya Morris. You can't say that about Kingsley Suamataia. So even though those other two guys might have a higher ceiling than DJ Humphries long term, you need someone that can help you on on your way to a three-peat this year. I think DJ Humphries has kind of become the clear option there. And that's something that even when the Chiefs signed him, I thought, hey, this is still Wanya Morris's gig. But they're going to see what DJ Humphries could provide, veteran depth, whatever. But now I'm thinking, like, after the last couple of games, you got to get him in there because Patrick Mahomes, his pressure to sack ratio this year has been the worst of his career by far. And at first I thought, well, if you look at the pressure rate given up by Wanya Morris, and this was prior to the last 2 weeks, I'm sure it's gone way up over the last 2 weeks after two poor performances. But Wanya Morris was actually performing better than 2023 Donovan Smith. And I think a lot of people didn't realize that as far as the pressure rate statistics. But I think what we're seeing now is that the pressure to sack statistic that looks really bad on Patrick Mahomes is because that Wanya Morris is losing so quickly around the edge. The edge is literally just running around him. I mean, if you watch that Raiders game, Michael, they were just running around Wanya Morris every single time. Like, it wasn't even like some exotic pass rush move or a stunt or a twist or anything. They were just running around him, right?
They're just taking advantage of that knee injury. I mean, that's all it was.
Yeah, exactly. And so because of that, Mahomes' pressure to sack ratio looks really bad. And now I understand why. So yeah, you got to get DJ Humphries in there, I think, as quickly as possible.
And that's the goal.
For sure. So the other player that we wanted to give you guys an update on, help is on the way, Michael, with the wide receiver room. Ian Rappaport actually gave an update on Chiefs wide receiver Hollywood Brown, who has been hinting on social media at a return as of recently. But Ian Rappaport put out an update yesterday saying help is on the way. As wide receiver Hollywood Brown has an appointment in week 15 with his surgeon for final clearance. Sources say one that likely allows him to play in week 16 or 17. Michael, before you say anything, I just want to give my 2 cents. I think this is really, really good news for the Chiefs. I was hoping that he would return a little bit earlier, but the important thing is that you get him back before the postseason, allow him to play a couple of regular season games, get up to speed, get in game shape, instead of just throwing him in there in the postseason. Because I think that's what a lot of people were a little worried about is, okay, yes, you'd like to get Hollywood Brown back, even if it's just for the postseason, but it's even better to get him back prior to the postseason so that you can get him worked into the offense.
Yeah, you got to get him worked into the offense during the regular season because the last thing that I want to see personally is him get the start in the playoffs and just be rusty and he just wouldn't get any usage. So it is a good thing that they are going to get him acclimated to the offense. You've seen him in the facility, getting some work in, catching some balls off the jugs machine. Yeah. I think that you're going to see him return to practice here pretty soon. They're giving the timeline of week 16 or 17. 16 is against the Texans at Arrowhead Stadium. Week 17 is obviously that Christmas Day game against Pittsburgh on the road. I think it would be way better to have him back for that Texans game and not bring him back in such a big game on Christmas. Yeah. But it kind of just depends on how that injury is feeling, because with something like this, he has to get medically cleared to come back. And barring any setbacks, that should be fine. He should be back at that time, but a setback could just derail this entire thing. But I would say week 16 or 17 is accurate. I would like to see him come back sooner in week 16. That way you can kind of be more gentle and nurse him back. But who knows? Maybe the Chiefs want to wait till week 17 or maybe even just wait until they get closer towards January.
I will say I think there is a slight benefit to getting him back so late in the season. And that is that nobody has seen him in your offense, what he can do. There's not really a great way to game plan for him because there's no film to see. You have the one preseason game and the one catch that he had before he was ultimately out for the season. But I mean, like, it's almost cooked. Yeah, it's almost kind of like the Chiefs are getting back a secret weapon right before the playoffs. And I do think some of the struggles on offense still is receiver play. DeAndre Hopkins has obviously been a great addition. Xavier Worthy is starting to work his way in a little bit more. I'm seeing him do some of the little things right, and that's good for his progression. Even if Patrick Mahomes is still overthrowing him or whatever, I think it'll get figured out eventually. But my ultimate point is you need just a little bit more, I think. And Hollywood Brown is just that little bit more.
Well, not only is he that little bit more, but I said this on my channel a couple days ago. You already have someone that can stretch the field in Xavier Worthy. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
But adding somebody like Hollywood Brown to also stretch the field, it is going to be impossible to defend this Chiefs offense. They're going to have to put either their best defensive back on Hollywood Brown, and they're going to have to let Xavier Worthy run free, or they're going to have to mix and match and find some way to keep both of those guys under wraps, because even if Hollywood Brown is just a glorified decoy, he's one of the fastest decoys in the NFL. And he's somebody that your defense has got to game plan for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just going to leave DeAndre Hopkins under the middle, just catching every ball in sight and just exposing that soft zone coverage. So the Chiefs are in a win-win position when they do get Hollywood Brown back. He either catches the ball or he doesn't, but other guys are going to feast because he is coming back.
No, I absolutely agree with you. It's going to open up so much more for this Chiefs offense. But I think that's a good stopping point for this video. Guys, those are the latest updates on new left tackle DJ Humphries and, of course, wide receiver Hollywood Brown, who we expect to see the field for the Kansas City Chiefs sooner rather than later. But before we officially sign off, Michael, why don't you let the people know where they can find you?
Of course, you guys can find me on YouTube at KC Sports Report. We've been breaking things down daily on the channel, and the best way to find me is there. But subscribe to Josh's channel if you haven't already. We're doing daily, Chiefs stuff on my channel, but we're also getting Josh involved in the Chiefs game. We're going to do weekly stuff on his channel and continue to give you guys the best content that you're going to find anywhere on this platform.
Yeah, and you guys make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and then also do the same thing on Michael's channel, as he is very close to 10,000 subscribers, a huge milestone. So that'll all be in the description as always. But with all that being said, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. Make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com and arrowheadaddict.com for more. And we'll see you all in the next one. Go Chiefs!
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Noah Gray here, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Josh's channel and check out showmefootball.com for more.